Hello teacher, today I'm going to present my 3 video projects, so let's start. Okay, the first video project is about George Soros. This man is originally named George Schwartz. He was born on August 12, 1930, so nowadays he is 19 years old. He was born in Hungary, but today he's living in a town called Katona in New York. So basically, he's a Hungarian-American billionaire and philanthropist, and also he's the president of Soros Fund Management and Quantum Fund. Okay, first, it's important to know more about his studies. So, as you know, he lived in Hungary, but he faced the Second World War. That's why Hungary was in a line between Soviet and Nazi conflicts. That's why he moved to the United Kingdom in 1947. Then he entered to the London School of Economics to study economics, obviously, and he got his degree. And then also he got his master's degree in economics, and also he studied for a PhD in philosophy in the University of London. Now, I'm going to explain how he earned his money and how he became a billionaire even though he was an immigrant. So, as you can see here in this quote, he said that he started to sell many products, goods in souvenir shops and something like that, but also he made an effort in order to keep in touch with several managing directors in every merchant bank in London in order to get a job. And also, he reached that. His first official job was in a merchant bank in the United Kingdom. Then he made his first hedge fund, which was called Double Eagle in 1969. Then he developed his second hedge fund called the Soros Fund Management in 1970. Then he changed the name of Double Eagle into Quantum Fund. And then after many years, people realized that he made about $12 million in assets under management. And also in 2011, he had $25 billion. So that's why he became known as the man who broke the Bank of England. According to his philanthropic activities, between 1979 and 2011, he donated more than $30 billion for several philanthropic causes. Also, by the late 70s, he founded his own foundation called the Open Society Foundation. And also, he invested more than $12 million for helping people in several causes such as reducing poverty and also increasing transparency. Also, he donated his money for scholarships, especially to African American people during the apartheid. And also, he helped in the creation of universities. One of them is the Central European University in Budapest. And also, he influenced in the collapse of communism in the late 1980s. So he donated money to help people to destroy the wall of Berlin. But it should be noted also that he was in several controversies. One of them is that once it was said that he was an anti-Semitic, so this means that he hates Jews, but that's kind of nonsense because he is a Jew. He has a Jewish descendant. Also, it was said that he was a Nazi collaborator. He turned into other Jews and also to steal their property, but this was not proved because he was against these political parties and these movements. Also, it was said that during the presidency of the Turkish Recep Tayyip, he was denounced because he was speaking or criticizing about Turkey's political purges. And also it was said that Soros was financing terrorists in order to create these purges. And the last one, this is not This is not a controversy, but it was an assassination attempt. A pipe bomb was placed in the mailbox at Soros' home in Katuna in 2018 because they tried to kill him, but fortunately they warned him in order to be safe. So that's everything about video project 3. Now on video project number 4, I'm going to talk about trend spotters. So what is a trend spotter? Trend spotters are people who identify and they make predictions about developing trends in the culture at large or in a particular field. So this means that these people do a lot of research about which things or which fashion styles will be trendy in the future. So who hired them? So in this case, a lot of fashion industries and parent companies hire trend spotters. And also it's pretty common to see these trend spotters in common cities where fashion is relevant, like New York City, Japan, and Paris. And in order to be a trend spotter, it's important to have a lot of qualities, intellectual qualities. They need to have a knowledge in psychology in order to analyze how human preferences change through time. Also, they need to know about the history of trends. Also, they have to know how to send reports because they do a lot of research. They do a lot of statistical reports. Also, they should know about photography. Also, they have to develop a base on business and economics. Okay, so trend spotters make a systematical process in order to collect data and to make their predictions about trends. So the first one is scanning. In this one, trend spotters make a lot of research, and they analyze surveys from newspapers, from magazines, from websites. They use media in order to know more about the trends. And then they do the trend analysis. This is an examination of a trend. They have to analyze the causes, the speed of development of this trend, also to analyze the potential impacts that these trends have of human lives. Then we have trend monitoring. This means that just to monitor and keep monitoring those trends, and also they keep monitoring by gathering or collecting numerical data, statistics. Then there is trend projection. This means that they have to see how trends are going to be projected in the future. So they have to make a lot of planning, and also they have to show changes to show how which changes will be in the future. Then the scenarios are the places where the trend is going to develop. Then we have polling, which is to make more research through face-to-face conversations, telephone interviews, also questionnaires about the trends. Then the brainstorming is that they have to gather new ideas. They have to join with small groups of people in order to think about this topic. Then they have to apply modeling, which is to set an equation or to see the future progress of this trend through the years. Then they have to apply gaming, which is to make simulations by humans and by human role playing. Then they have to know about the historical analysis, so they have to be engaged with historical knowledge, historical trending events, and finally visioning. So this means that they have to make visions about the desired fashion trend that they want to come up with. And yep, that's everything about this video project. Finally, I'm going to talk about video project number 5, which is about Jane Jacobs. So, she was Jane Jacobs. She was a journalist, a urban writer, and an activist. She was born in Pennsylvania on May 4, 1916, and she died on 2006. She was remained as a human activist due to she made a lot of projects and plannings related to public places, and it should be noted that she didn't have a professional training on it, but she made a lot of observations and she had a common sense. That's why she became very famous, and also she became an inspiration for famous architects such as the Brazilian Lúcio Costa and her husband Robert Jacobs. So, as I said before, she became very famous because of her interesting theories about urbanism or how cities are developed. So here I'm going to explain some of her perspectives about it. So the first one, she believed that cities are considered ecosystems. So this means that for her, cities were like living beings and organisms and ecosystems. And she said that everything that surrounds cities, for example, buildings, streets, neighborhoods, are dynamic organisms. And also she thought that sidewalks, parks, the government, economy, everything becomes part of a natural ecosystem. That's why she said that it's important to analyze how people interact with those organisms in order to understand how does a city work or how is the city structured. Now, another perspective was called the mixed-use development. This means that it's important that a city should have different buildings, different kinds of buildings. For example, old buildings, new buildings, buildings for residency, and also for commercial buildings. It's important to have this variety, and also it's important to make a city be dynamic with several people from different ages using different areas and a different time in order to create a community vitality. And that's why she considered that cities are organic and spontaneous. The other theory that she proposed was about the bottom-up community planning. She said that most of the time government policies are not related to, or that they don't focus on real life situations. She said that government policies are inconsistent with real life situations and with the real life situations that happen in cities and neighborhoods. And finally, the local economies. So this means that that the cities should grow up with economy at the same time. So that's why she said that cities depend on agricultural advances. So that's why she thinks that it's important to create several businesses, small businesses, because the set of businesses is the fuel, is the energy that helps a city to be stable and also to be innovative at the same time. That's why she thought it was important to apply different types of work in small businesses in order to increase the number of urban and creative entrepreneurs. So these were the most important theories about Jane Jacobs, about the urban renewal, and thank you for your attention.